Morning, Pete, and belated happy birthday. I thought your idea and request to do a little video shoot was pretty cool to see how people are suffering lockdowns wherever they're living. Well, I'm in Doha, as you know, and we are in sort of a semi-lockdown, so I'm actually going to just stroll to work now. I'm living in serviced apartments, and the reason that I did actually choose to live here was it's a 2 or 3 minute walk to work, and thought it might be an idea for you to actually see what a short stroll to work is like in the Middle East. So let's go. So here we go through the reception lobby before we go out into the dusty sandpit. One of the advantages of just going through the revolving door using my elbow, there you go, and it looks pretty bloody windy actually this morning, so I might speak up a little bit. So one of the advantages of living in this service block is the amount of restaurants and facilities that we have here, or what we're used to. Something people haven't talked about is the demise of the barber shop, so there's going to be a few hair bears around. And the other thing that's happening in Doha at the moment is all cafes have now shut. Restaurants can only do takeaways and delivery. I think that's pretty common. So Abajur there's a sort of Middle Eastern meat grill sort of place. Another coffee shop here, that's it's a new one, so it's a really bad time to start a new coffee shop business here. And Doha's not the busiest place at the best of times, but sorry, walking into the sun. Let's get out of the sun. But even less so now. It's a little bit more apocalyptic, zombie time, which I think most places are actually like. So what we see here, there's a lot of just spin around here actually. That building there is being used as a quarantine building. The one at the back, the sort of beigey one. So anybody that lands at the airport in Doha now gets whisked off there for their 14 days quarantine. Apparently it's quite nice, but not sure I'd want to be stuck there for 14 days. And the other thing as well I think was mentioned is the group sizes now in Doha is limited to actually 2. That's come down in numbers, so it's 2s in taxis, 2s walking around. Supermarkets are getting stricter with all markings and so on and so on. And the police apparently are stopping a hell of a lot of people. Oh yeah, and when there's the 2 people rule as well, yeah, got to be 1.5 meters apart. And I guess one of the good things about living in a strict country is we're getting control of the virus quite well. Starbucks here, I don't know whether you can see, there's too much sort of bright light on my screen. I can't really see what I'm videoing at the moment. But yeah, Starbucks was available for takeaways up until I think it was yesterday or the day before. But as I say, all cafes and coffee shops have got to be closed. But if you go to a supermarket that sells coffee, that's sort of fine. There's obviously a few contradictions in all the rules that are actually taking place at the moment. So that's sort of leaving one side of the serviced apartment block. The building directly ahead, the sort of curvy one, is where I'm heading to. And it's a shame that the sun's sort of all in the wrong place this morning. It's quite a nice skyline to see when you're walking to work. Sort of, I've been here for a year now, still not quite bored of it. You'll also see some construction work here. There's a lot of construction work in Doha leading up to the World Cup. These are 4 new hotels that are getting built. One of them is the Oberoi, a couple of JWs, and I think there's the Hyatt at the back. So today is actually a little bit better than normal with respect to, we've had a couple of dust storms as well, so it really has felt like fire, brimstone, plagues of frogs, rivers and blood, that sort of thing. It's all pretty bleak, and as you can see, there's not that many people walking around at the moment. All of my team are scattered around home. Normally 2 or 3 of us just come into the office just to get out of the apartments. We're sort of allowed to do that. It's not a total lockdown. Bigger challenge for us is a lot of my team is actually in Mumbai, and you've probably read that the guys in India are having a much tougher time than we are. They've had a much stricter way of living at the moment, which I guess is for the greater good. Back onto the walk. You might see there, again I apologise, I can't really see what I'm recording at the moment because of the sunlight. Doha's building all these pockets of green, so this park thing here that these guys are working on, that was just a dusty, disused piece of land about 3 or 4 months ago, and then that's been transformed into a nice little park area just in time for the summer, where I'm sure all the grass is going to get scorched and singed to pieces. This thing has had construction hoardings on it for ever since I've been here. Got no idea what's going on there, but it's going to be another building or another hotel. Pile of dust. Sort of get used to that living in Doha. And normally at this time, where you see these cars parked, where I've just walked across, and even you'll see the car park, this is quite full, even at 7 o'clock in the morning. And as you see, the lockdown's taking full effect. So that's pretty much my stroll to work. It's quite good actually, because as I say, we've got some blue skies today. It sort of screwed up my walk in from a video point of view because it's going into the wrong direction, but that's my life at the moment in the mornings.